sounds of a naturally aspirated V12. Today, as the title of the video would suggest, the DBS is back. What I mean by back is it's basically been in hibernation storage since I think about October time. And today, we're going to take an opportunity to stretch its legs and drive over to my mate Phil at Caffeine and Machine to see what he's been up to, because they're reopening after effectively being closed due to the whole world being put on pause for the last 12 months. Basically go and shoot the breeze with a couple of petrol heads. First of all, we've got to get the TDF out of the way, get the DBS out. Do you know what, once you've got this car out, I mean the way this thing sounds, I'm so tempted to take this, but the DBS, first of all, I haven't driven it for a long time. Look at the filth on this thing. Absolutely gotta stay on top of this. The DBS, I'm embarrassed to share it with you because it hasn't been treated with any TLC since October really. We've got to take this down to MVN, that down to MVN, definitely the DBS down to MVN. They've all got like sort of storage filth on them. So anyway, regardless of TDF being back on the channel, today's DBS day. So we've got the twin clutch naturally aspirated V12 and the manual. On paper they're sort of vaguely similar, but they couldn't be further apart in terms of driving style. The way they drive, despite the fact of them sharing a front-engined V12, so different. Today's all about that sort of manual chill. Let's check out how totally different these things sound as well. Okay, now this is quite an embarrassing situation from a man who's partner in a detailing company. All three of these cars are absolute filth. Can't believe it. But yeah, every time I see this, I have to pinch myself. It's just the most ridiculous thing. So, I've noticed in the comments, and the eagle-eyed of you will probably notice the inconsistency of number plates on these cars. True story, I'm not just saying this. The reason that I took the plate off this, the personalised reg of this, was I had multiple occasions, in fact 3 occasions, over the course of about 6 months, where people would spot my number plate and follow me home.
What?
To the gate. Yeah. To
Serious?
the gate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, this isn't for the camera. This actually happened. Yeah, people followed me home. Thankfully, on each of the occasions, everyone was really nice. They were just interested in saying hi. But the third time, we were like, this is getting more than a coincidence. It was a bit odd. So I ended up taking the plate off because, as I said, this is a daily driver. And you might say, well, a Crayon GT3 stands out enough as it is. But you might see that. I mean, I had one guy follow me off the motorway, go way out of his way just to say hi, and thankfully he wasn't like a crazy person. Yeah, he was just wanted to say hi. But yeah, it was just the fact that it had the JWW on it that made this guy follow me off the bloody M40. Whereas if it didn't have it on, it could just be another Crayon GT3. So anyway, it hasn't happened for quite some time, and I think it's probably time that we go full suite and get the plate back on the GT3. The weirdest one, and this is honest on my life, there is a park down the road from my house which during the summer has hot air balloon flights, right? Yeah. And one summer I had the cars out in the drive, and there was a subscriber who just so happened to have sort of rented a day out in one of these hot air balloons. He flies over my house, recognized the cars, took a photo of it, and geo-tagged my house on Instagram. Thankfully, the dude had like 6 followers, so no one really found out about it. But I was like that could do without that. That's what
it's a part of the game.
God's honest truth
that
actually happened. Yeah. Super strange. So. So, the other thing, when this car launched, Apple CarPlay wasn't a thing. So we actually sent it to a company called Aston Installations, and down here you'll notice this sort of aftermarket control unit here, where with the press of a button on the inside of the X ashtray, press this button here and it will go into Apple CarPlay mode there, which is incredibly convenient when you want to use the DBS as more of a sort of dare I say it, daily driver proposition, because I, like probably many others, are quite reliant now on the likes of Waze and Google Maps, and also all of our music is basically on our phones. I mean, this thing takes CDs, for example, so taking this to Aston installations has just transformed the proposition of this thing being usable for longer road trips and staying out of the way of speed cameras and things like that, because with over 500 horsepower this thing is fairly potent. Anyway, we're going to hit the road, find out what the front end turning's like with these new tyres, and then go and see if we can catch up with Mr. McGovern. That's what we need to move cars with. Look, he's got a little controller that he puts underneath the back of his plane. He's going to jack up his plane and just drag it back in to his hangar. We need one of those with the cars, Jimbo.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's Goldfinger.
Goldfinger. The plane flies over, like supposedly spraying this sort of toxic gas, and everyone like simultaneously just goes whoomp. There's no like drowsiness or anything like that. Okay, the sun has come out. We conveniently find ourselves on a tight and twisty British B road, and we're in the DBS. The way this thing gracefully moves across the ground is quite a remarkable thing. But if you follow the channel regularly, normally by now I'd be grabbing this thing by the scruff of its neck and really sending it. But this for me is all about the interaction with the car itself, with it being a manual. And you can hear long builds. It's like long, beautiful wafts of torque that crescendo up. It's all about the downshifts. The nice thing about this car is once you enter the chilled towns and villages, you can swan on through gracefully. It's like probably, what's the word? Sidewalk feedback? Like the reception you get to pedestrians as you breeze through that otherwise tranquil village. Pick up on themes where people either appreciate you being there or not. And this, universally, no matter where you go with this car, the reception from the sidewalk is always good. You're getting thumbs up, tips of the hat, etc. People don't mind an Aston cruising through town, even though it does have a fairly loud and distinct V12 sound. People don't seem to be offended by it. Every now and again a bright red TDF can get people's backs up, but generally this is pretty ideal. There's Phil having a brew on his bench.
Well,
These are those.
Laura's getting full ball.
These are those.
You are getting full porn over these, aren't you?
Cool.
Mate, these
Yeah,
are
they're like pre-production prototypes.
002.
The reason they've got codes is because IP and copyrights on the amount of names you can't have is inset. Like you can't like name them after corners of racetracks or anything.
No.
We had to run every name past lawyers, and they were just like, you know what, just call it 1, 2, 3. Hospitality, effectively, over the last 12 months. What's that been like?
6 months of solitude.
Really?
Yeah, I mean we had a really wild ride. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of July the 11th all the way through to, what was it, November the 19th, November the 20th when we were hauled up again.
Yeah.
That was good fun.
Was
it
it?
was really, really cool.
Good.
Because it was pivot,
Yeah.
figure your way through it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we're over again, down.
This third one sucked.
It did.
It really did.
It did.
The first one was like novel. Second one was short enough to be okay. And the third one was like through the winter, quite
Painful.
long.
Sure.
Right, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, no
Well,
matter
it
where
looks
you
like
look at it.
you've taken an opportunity to develop infrastructure.
So yeah, we're just trying to do that. We're just trying to make the place look pretty, James.
Yeah, I bet. Well, this is good. Sun's out, fun's out. So you're open when? April 12th?
April the 12th, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Fresh start.
Yeah, breakfast.
April 12th.
We're
What's
off.
the plan? Is it breakfast, yeah?
Yeah, we're doing breakfast. So for the first time in a long time, we're back open at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And yeah, we're free to air. A lot of people think we're a ticket-only venue, but we're not. We're only tickets on weekends and Wednesday nights.
Okay.
Everything else is good to go.
And
right?
will that be outside only?
Yeah,
So
it will
order
be.
in, bring out.
No, QR code's on the table.
Oh, wicked.
So every table's got a QR code. Within reason, every car that comes through the door will have a table, so you'll never be left wanting.
That's amazing.
And then the food arrives at your table, and then you bus it to the bin.
Gee, cool.
And then May the 17th is another
Right.
review, and then
Wow.
that's when we start to see people welcome inside the building to stay. And
Okay. To any industry, everyone's had problems, with, these guys sourcing things, and yeah, it's a long burn. But these have taken 18 months. Turns out, if you want to offer a prescription lens, it becomes a medical grade product, and you have to have very different kinds of certification on your product.
that's something, again, you're aware of, though, right?
And I am now. When I announced it to the audience, I was literally having a break in like the end of September 19, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do in 2020. Sunglasses. How hard can it be?
Have you got someone to effectively hold the stock levels for you, or are you going to have to commit to the stock and then hold it?
We've had 20,000 over 20,000 now pre-registrations on these. And we don't have anywhere near that amount of stock. I was just saying, honestly, we have nowhere near that much stock.
Yeah.
So if you let me know your email address, I'll prioritize that for you, and then we'll.
That's a good day out.
That's a good day out. Yeah. But having them removable was a big thing, because I think
Some people do, some people don't.
also from a driving point of view, you can see through them fine. But I think there's this subconscious, so you can take them on and off.
Yeah, a lot of the time though, I need them.
Right, back where we started. Awesome thing about the clocks going forwards is that we've had a full day's filming and we've arrived back in the daylight. It's always novel considering the depressing winter that we've had the last few months. Anyway, if you like what you've seen, please be sure to give it that thumbs up. If you really like it, subscribe. And if you really, really like it, when you subscribe, hit the little bell and you'll be the first to know when new content goes live. As always, thanks so much for watching. I've now got to put that DBS back into the studio, and we shall see you next time. Ciao!